Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast, episode 105. Coming back after a short hiatus, so apologies for the lack of content recently. It's not good enough on our part, but it's not me.
We will do better.
It's Reece that we have to blame. Why have we not?
I've been away.
Mate, you were, even when you were here, we weren't doing it.
No, we did one on the way down. We literally didn't miss a week. Yeah, we didn't miss a week.
We did. I think we missed one before.
I don't think we did. We have two. It's just
we
we haven't been
definitely missed
doing
one
the
week
double up.
before.
I'm not entirely sure. I think I was dying then. So
Yeah, you were
if
pretty
you guys don't know, listen to the last podcast. That was the drive down to Sussex.
Yeah,
Essex. No, Exeter. Don't know where Sussex is in comparison.
I think it's near.
Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, we're driving downwards in the UK, and then last week, this time on Thursday, I was travelling up to Manchester to fly to Alicante. So it wasn't really a case where we could have fit a podcast in, unfortunately. So we are back. It is our usual Thursday. Sanaya has pulled up. We are doing 3 episodes today. We're doing a little bit of a catch up. We're doing a part for like a Q&A. And then we are doing the Sanaya special, Sanaya's episode, where she's going to be pretty much like, basically, to put it bluntly, she's at mine. She has to kind of wait in the afternoon because she hasn't got a car. I said I'd drop her off this evening, and she's got nothing to do in the afternoon because I picked her up. Okay. So she hasn't been home since we flew in. So pretty much I said to her like, well, you kind of stuck around. Like, do you want to hop on the podcast? It was almost where she's got nothing to do. So yeah, Sanaya's been drafted up. In all seriousness though, we've actually been saying, oh, we should get Sanaya on. So it kind of made sense. So yeah, we're doing the part with Sanaya.
Catch up episode now because me and Reece haven't even really spoke properly.
We literally haven't spoken
since
at all.
Competed.
Yeah, we haven't.
We have a little bit, but not a lot.
No. Not in person.
I
really.
messaged you asking how you are because I care. And then you're like, oh, thanks. And you asked me after.
Yeah, but you didn't reply.
Yeah, because I don't care.
Finn messaged me saying, how you doing, mate? And I said, like, I literally spoke to him.
It shows how selfless I am.
And then I said, how are you? And he didn't tell me.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how I am.
So I then messaged him, like, I think either the following day or like a couple of hours later, mate, you didn't actually tell me. Like,
I honestly forget though, like, because I never will talk about myself. Like, even on the podcast, I don't really like talk about myself. Like, often it'll come to my bit and I'm like, yeah, everything's sound.
Yeah.
But like with clients, obviously I'm constantly asking how they are.
Yeah.
So like when someone asks me how I am, I'm like, obviously like apart from Shannon or whatever, I'm like,
yeah. I think
I'm
like
sound.
No, I think it's one of them. Like you get into a point of like a prep where you do talk about yourself and you're like, oh shit, I actually am important. Where like beforehand we'd never speak about like together. You wouldn't be like, how are you doing, mate? If I'm away, you wouldn't be asking. No, it's not you wouldn't care. It's just like you just assume. Yeah, you just be like, he's all right.
So anyway, we're doing catch up episode now. We're
so
doing a Q&A episode, and then we're gonna do Sanaya special.
So catch up, mate. How's things?
All good, mate.
No, come on. Do you want to start off?
yeah, I can start off. I think you've got a bit more to chat about because you've been away.
Yeah.
So I guess from the last time we spoke, or the last time that we spoke to the listeners. Shout out to the listeners, by the way.
Gained 50 subscribers since we last did a video.
Thank you very much for the subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Subscribe now, bottom right corner if you aren't subscribed already. Sorry about my voice as well, by the way. I'm not ill. Basically, since the day we went to Exeter, which is like 2 weeks ago on Friday, I woke up that morning with a bit of a sore throat. And I've woke up every day.
2 weeks ago tomorrow.
I've woke up every single day since then with a sore throat, every single morning. But by the time I've literally 5 minutes that I've been up, I've had some water and I get out on my morning walk, I'm fine. And then in the evenings, I say it's not evening, but it's like 4 o'clock now. So I've done all my check-ins and I've spoke quite a lot. By the time I get to later on in the day, my voice is just going a bit weird. Yeah. So apologies if my voice sounds weird. But yeah, since then, since we spoke on the way down to Exeter, obviously we had Reece's show.
Shows.
Yeah, Reece's shows that weekend. That was a busy weekend because even after Reece's show at PCA, I then went to the MBW. I didn't get home till quite late. So that weekend knackered me out a little bit. So I was dragging. The Monday, Tuesday was the first time I felt quote unquote preppy. I was like, I feel like I'm dragging a little bit, but that's mainly just because of the weekend. I'd have felt like that off season anyway.
Yeah.
Then last week was good. Had a normal week, I think. Throughout the week was normal. I'm trying to think if I saw any clients. I trained with Will Razzo. I'm sure that was
the sausage.
That might have been before the show. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I trained with the sausage, yeah. Shout out to Will Razzo. And then Friday, so basically CMP messaged me in the middle of the week asking if I could do a photo shoot in Manchester on the Saturday. And they wanted
It was
me to,
early Saturday.
they wanted me to be there for 6:30 start. So I messaged them and I was like, well, yeah, I can do it, but like I'll have to stay over. And then basically there was a few other people in the same boat. So CMP put us up in some digs. And to be fair, it was class. I had my own parking spot. Like the actual Airbnb was really nice.
Okay.
So thanks to CMP for the Airbnb. It was actually class. It was a really good weekend, to be fair. So on the Friday I drove up and I set off. I aimed to get to the Iron Jungle for like 3:30. And I think I got there at like 5:30. Like I literally took like 4 hours to get to Manchester because traffic was awful. Yeah. So apparently someone was playing, two Arctic Monkeys and someone else was playing. And
Manchester,
then I think people were travelling down because it was the day before the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's been used. Like, honestly, I drove up Thursday.
You're always there.
Yeah, I've been there like literally like I think 4 times in the last like 2 weeks.
I know. Yeah. So it took me ages to get there. I had like a client meetup planned with. I've got three clients in Manchester. Niall, Tommy, and Charlie. Charlie, he didn't stay because he was like, I need to get home because of traffic, so I didn't end up seeing Charlie. But I saw Tommy and I saw Niall. Obviously, Niall's prepping, so it was good to see Niall.
Niall looks very good.
Niall does look very good. Yeah, he does. He's looking very, very good.
Especially his trim.
He's in a good spot.
His trim.
Yeah,
that's what I was more so talking
sharp.
about. Yeah, very sharp.
Looking sharp. No, he's looking good. He's in a good spot. Yeah, we've pushed him a little bit harder since I saw him, just because like obviously it's good to assess in person when you can. He's not behind by any means, but like he's
you see someone in person, you're like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Some areas are a lot fatter than others. Like his glutes, even his midsection, like his glutes and his hamstrings are quite soft.
Yeah.
In comparison to other body parts, obviously you learn that, and you can see that on photos anyway. But it's a bit easier in person.
Yeah.
So yeah, Friday night I trained there, good session. But then obviously Saturday I was a bit behind. Like I've messaged in the group chat and sort of let everyone know that I was going to be pretty much at the photo shoot all day, so I wasn't really going to be able to do any work. Yeah. Check-ins, that meant all my Saturday check-ins. I think I have like 9 on a Saturday. I had to do on the Sunday, so already that was a bit annoying. Because I didn't get home on Saturday night until my sister was playing. My sister's in a band, so I went to see my sister play on the way back on Saturday. Yeah. In Nottingham, so I didn't get home until like 11 on Saturday night, and I'd been up at 4:30 because I went and did cardio. Again, shout out to Niall, let me in JD gym. So I got up at 4:30, went and did my cardio, did some steps, and then did the photo shoot pretty much all day. Trained after the photo shoot, really good session. Trained out of Strength Collective in Altrincham. Okay. That's where we did the shoot. Although we did the shoot like around Manchester in the morning, went to different places, and some really nice places to be fair. But yeah, that was a good day. It was like I ended up doing like 17,500 steps, and I usually do 12.5. So it wasn't crazy, but it was like on your feet
busy,
a lot.
It's a long day.
I must have got a pump like 10 times in the day. And
mate,
then
you're still getting a pump.
Mate, I was on literally 0 carbs, and I was getting a crazy pump from full pump.
Crazy
full pump is
shout out
crazy.
Fin 15.
Fin 15 for some crazy full pump. But no, I was actually getting a very good pump. So yeah, that was a really good day. And then Sunday, I was able to chill a little bit, which was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sunday morning saw a new low, like 173.5. I was saying to Reese before we came on, like I think I'm probably as lean as I was last time I competed, or at least I'm very close. Yeah. I think I'm probably in some areas I'm definitely leaner. Like my lower back is definitely, it's the leanest I've ever seen it, leaner than it was last time by a mile. Yeah. My glutes and hamstrings aren't quite as lean as they were last time. I'd say my quads are probably on par. So I'm not far off where I was last time, which is, it's not a good thing. I'm not saying I wasn't like way off last time. I needed more muscle. Yeah. Now I've got a good amount more muscle. It's like, okay, I can get skinned really. So yeah, basically new low then. I'm hovering like a 174, 175 at the minute. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I guess I can chat about like plans moving forwards in a minute, but catch us up on where you've been the last 2 weeks.
So yeah, finished prep. Really good weekend. It was. I don't really know how to start, if I'm honest. It's this guy like Reese finished his prep.
Yeah, we didn't even speak. Yeah, the last one was before, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I feel like we probably should have started with that. Like, yeah, so prep's done for me, but it's been a very weird transition into a potential off season. But if I'm honest, like it's been 10 days, 11 days. I don't know. It's Thursday, so it's Thursday the 8th of June, and I finished on Sunday the 28th, and I've literally just not stopped. since. Like, I've just been flat out. The weekend itself was class. I thought that was genuinely probably one of the best weekends I think I've ever had.
Good.
Like, I already look back and think that was a really, really good weekend. So the debut occurred. I competed in Fitex for Classic and Open. I won the Classic class and beat Gaz. So CSN team. I haven't been dropped by CSN yet, but I put my supplement order in this morning, and they haven't got back to me about it. So I don't know. maybe I have been sacked. Usually it's pretty instantaneous, but I haven't had my message saying the order's been confirmed. So might have been sacked. So yeah, beat Gaz, and then I came up in the Open class and got second to Guy is it Guy Chat? What's his name? Is it
Guy Harding? Guy C Harding on Instagram.
Who is an absolute freak.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, really nice guy. Guy was he's a really nice guy.
He's like my best mate.
Fair enough.
Loves my car.
Does he? Yeah. Shout out Guy. Like, very, very good bodybuilder.
Yeah, good guy.
And I saw him backstage, and I was like, why is he here?
I thought he was guest posing.
Yeah, but it turns out and I thought to myself, if he didn't turn up, I would have won that wicked sword. Like, because I would have won the Open bodybuilding, and I probably would have won. I'd imagine I would have. I would have.
Came third in the overall, so he wouldn't.
Yeah, but I beat the guy who finished second, and I think
he was a better classic bodybuilder than you were.
But I think I was a better open bodybuilder than he's a classic, because I beat him in his own class. So I don't know. I would have liked this sort of guy. Why'd you have to turn up? But no, in all seriousness, if you had given me the option, I would have 100% took the second with no sword, because if I turned up and just won the overall, it would have been like, okay, cool. Like, it would have been, it was really, really good just to go through like loads of rounds of posing with a guy who is incredibly good.
Which show did you prefer?
I think they both had their pros. Like, I think
get off the fence.
No, I
do.
I don't know. I think when I got first call out PCA, that was the highlight, because I was like, I genuinely for the first time was like, I was really happy. When they called my number, I was like, yeah, like I was really happy, happier than whenever I've won a show.
I think the PCA show was better just because it was a busier show. It was a higher standard,
and I also think I felt like
it was you. If anything, like you, for me, you sort of, what's the word? You beat our expectations, didn't you, by quite a lot?
Yeah, I certified in my head. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm doing.
Whereas like the other shows have been like a bit of a letdown.
Yeah,
not the Fitex, but the ones before that.
Yeah,
the PCA and the Fitex were, especially the PCA, was like, oh shit, like okay, this is really good.
This is what I do. Yeah. This is what I should be doing, and I think that's kind of confirmed it. So yeah, Saturday was like Fitex, getting my feet wet, seeing how things are in the grand scheme of things. Like, other than Guy, and the standard wasn't bad.
Talk about the travel to the Airbnb.
Yeah, it was just a long drive.
Mate, the fucking lane that you went up.
Oh, God.
It wasn't just a long drive. It was a nightmare.
It was a long drive where the maps decided to take us to a place where it was taking us.
The wrong address.
I just clicked on the one that Airbnb selected through the Safari, not through the communication hub. I'm not really an Airbnb guy. So basically, we ended up driving up this lane at like 9 o'clock.
It was a public footpath, and it was just like big rocks.
And my
car driving down it, and we were like, we were going so slow, weren't we?
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not driving up here. And eventually we got to the Airbnb.
Took about 10 minutes reverse out.
Yeah, we got to the Airbnb. It was like 10 p.m. We should have got there like 8.
The woman was lovely.
The woman was lovely.
Posy.
Yeah, Posy. Shout out Posy. Yeah, weird name because her name isn't even Posy. Like, I sent her money for Sam and her name wasn't Posy. And
it was Rosemary.
Yeah, so that clearly is her nickname. Shout out Rosemary. So yeah, Airbnb was lovely. Saturday, it literally was like we just paid.
Happened when we asked her what one thing we needed?
Oh, I said to her, as long as you got a microwave, and she was like, I don't.
It's the only thing.
And I was like, oh, sound. Don't worry, Posy. You don't have a fucking microwave. Sort it out. Airbnb. 1-star review. No, she was lovely. But literally, we just paid for an Airbnb to go to bed. We then woke up and literally within.
She was like,
yeah, I'll make you breakfast.
Coffee. What do you want for breakfast? And I was like, we'll literally be gone at like 7.
Yeah.
She was like, what do you want for coffee in the morning? What time? And I was like, I'm going to be up at 4:30. She was like, what? I was like, yeah, don't make me coffee. Please don't make me coffee. Just stay in bed. It's fine.
Yeah. So literally, we got up. We didn't we all didn't sleep like for that long, and then we literally we went through a round of posing, and then went to the show, and that was literally it. And like I said, the show was class. Fitex, they ran it incredibly well. Like it was ran, it was ran in really, really well. Like the people that like it was the most enjoyable show day I've had when it came to like how they were backstage, the pump up, the fact they let Sam backstage. It was so calm and like it was the opposite of like stress on an actual show day. It was literally just like they were calling me out to get my tan. They were really nice. Everyone there was just lovely. It was like they want you to be there. And then you got a good goodie bag, like you got a t-shirt, like what you actually pay for. I was like, Jesus Christ, like I can understand why it's pretty popular, Fitex, because it felt like I did. I felt like they wanted me to be there, which is a surprise because most shows it's just like you just turn up and it's like what number are you and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Fitex was on Saturday, first and second, and then third in the overall, which it's the judging criteria for the overall is a bit weird because I got beat by a guy that I beat in the class for classic, but they judge it based off classic criteria, and I agree he is more classic than me, so I can get why he beat me now. But the judging criteria
he beat you as a bodybuilder, you beat him as classic, because he won his bodybuilding class, didn't he?
Is that how it works?
He won his bodybuilding class. So like, for example, he won bodybuilding short.
Yeah.
But then you beat him in classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were judging you as a classic guy, him as a bodybuilder, and Guy as a bodybuilder. So they basically said he was a better short bodybuilder than you were a classic bodybuilder, which I think was right.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I actually get that. I agree when I think about it, but it's just a bit odd when you beat somebody.
They should just give it to what they shouldn't do placings. You know, like most overalls, it's not.
Yeah,
placings,
it should just be the best guy at the show.
And Guy was the best guy.
Was the guy. Yeah, I do agree. I was better than him lower body wise, I'd say, if sharpness, condition.
Yeah,
so
no, size.
Yeah, and
maybe
I think
not quads, but
not quads, but
from the side and from the back. You smashed him lower body.
Yeah, Guy got done.
But his upper body is stupid.
And from the side, upper body, I think I did him through certain areas. I think my back was sharper, but he had a lot more muscle. From the front, Jesus Christ, it was a fucking whitewash. He destroyed me. But
yeah, his most muscular.
Yeah, his most muscular was a joke in comparison. Crazy. But either way, like this is what we wanted. We wanted like good comparisons, and like you were the most hyped up I've ever seen you after. Like when backstage after that, you were like, mate,
it was just fun to watch.
Yeah, you literally.
It was really good.
We went through like 6 rounds. I think it was like a stupid amount. We're probably up there for like 20 or 30 minutes. So my first ever time on a bodybuilding stage, I was literally just going through rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds, and I was loving it. It was really good fun. Like my stamina was good, and then like literally went through that. Then so the open, the classic, and the overall, and I was absolutely smashed. By the end of the day, I'd never gone through posing before, like bodybuilding posing. My legs were ruined. My adductors, I woke up multiple times with cramp, and then it was a case where we were like almost having to make decisions on the fly because the look on Saturday was wicked. Like the look was the best I've ever looked. I got off stage, Finn was showing me photos, and I was like, that's me. Like I literally didn't think that was me. And then Sam was like, mate,
trying to make
you
sure
look class.
You didn't end up running too flat.
Yeah,
because you were like, I should just not eat.
Yeah, I should just run this. So we got back in. I had my usual kind of post-show cream of rice, which is just like a big bowl of cream of rice and then a few like bits on top. So I got some fruit, I had a protein bar, and then I think I had like two rice cakes. And then I had 100 carb and then a pro-fat final meal. Woke up the following day like 0.7 of a kilo lighter. But I'd argue I looked better on Sunday. I think that was my best look. The Sunday look was the best because it was a case where...
You know why I think it was?
How come?
Because you were just chilled out.
Yeah.
And you really enjoyed the day before.
And I didn't really think much of, like, other than being physically battered, I went into the weekend and I was just chilled.
I think there was definitely more pressure on the first show. And then after you'd seen the photos and you liked how you looked and stuff, you were literally so relaxed going to Sunday. We both were, weren't we? It was just like, obviously, like, I wanted you to do as well as you could. I know you did, but we were very relaxed. Like, there was no expectation.
It was a bonus. Like, that's how I viewed it. Like, Saturday, it was like, right.
When you were on stage, like, I was thinking, the fucking top 3 is available here. Like,
yeah, and it's one of them. Like, I spoke to a fair few people, spoke to a few judges, I got my feedback. I was a bit too sharp through the lower body, they said. Like, I got told, which is weird for classic. Yeah, but the classic criteria, like, and then if you look at, and again, this is the one thing, like, so I basically PCA Universe, I got 4th in the classic class. I went in and I was like, right, if I get first call out, I'll be happy. I'd be legitimately happy with a first call out based on the fact that you have to qualify. There were international athletes that had travelled. There was the standard across. It's the highest standard PCA show, and the standard was very, very high. And I qualified as a men's physique guy 3 weeks before, so I was almost going into it not like taking the piss, but it was a bit of a piss take in the sense of how I qualified in comparison to other people, and the fact that legitimately I was a men's physique dude. And I'm in an open class. It's not like a junior class. These are dudes where I think I was the youngest on stage again by like 10 years. The most people were late 20s and early 30s, and I say late 20s, I don't think there was a single guy in their 20s. And I was like backstage, I was pumping up, I felt fucking awesome on the day. I just felt chilled. I like went through some posing beforehand with IFBB pro Matthias, I think his name is on Instagram, but his name isn't Matthias, it's like Juliana or whatever. And he was like blown away with how like my condition was, and I was like, yep, sound, I think we're on. So literally chilled out, went through like let's say the pump up routine. There wasn't really I just chilled out, and then got first call out, and I was like really happy with how I looked, how I posed, everything. It was just a really, really good like kind of demonstration.
Made some good tweaks from the day before.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I was hitting a vacuum on my front relaxed, because my front relaxed is definitely it's definitely my worst pose. And then I knew going in, like, this is the thing, like when it comes to classic criteria and likewise bodybuilding criteria, I think if it was judged off strictly bodybuilding, I think I probably could have won the class if it was bodybuilding criteria, because I think if you look back at the footage, I think there was a lot of things that I did a lot better than other people, but I also think as well, when it comes to open and likewise classic, there's a lot of flaws to my physique, which is why like I got first call out, and I think I got first call out based off the technicalities of my strengths, but there's a lot of weaknesses to my physique, which we said heading into the shows that we knew.
And I think as well, like obviously I've said it loads, but if we'd have known if we'd have set out to do classic from the get-go,
like posing,
practice pose,
demonstration,
like the least classic poser really.
Oh yeah, I pose like a bodybuilder.
Practiced it.
I pose like a bodybuilder.
You're hitting most musculars on stage in classic, like
but they asked for a most muscular.
Did they?
Yeah, I only hit the most musculars when they asked.
I don't think they do.
They do. The last pose was a most muscular
in PCA.
Yeah. There was a classic most muscular, or there was some iteration of it.
I think it's just favourite classic pose.
Yeah, and
you weren't hitting your most muscular then. You were hitting it in the pose down and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But either way, I'd gone into it with like minimal practice. I practiced obviously in the build up, and like I hadn't even hit a quarter turn if up until 12 days before. So I was happy with my posing, all things considered, but there's things that you could do to make it more classic, and that's going to play a role. So like I said, we got first call out, and that legitimately, when I got my number called out, that was the happiest I think I've ever been. And that's a first call out. Like I've won shows, but it was like, yeah, cool, we're on. This is good. And like I had a fair few comments. Like I said, I spoke to a few people. You look at the Instagram reels, all the comments are like, how did Reece Fit only get fourth? But it's judged off a criteria that I'm very good at in certain areas, but I'm also not the best because I haven't really trained or practiced for that class. And I think like it's one of those where I think we were all a bit, initially, I wasn't disappointed with fourth. I was like, sound fourth, cool. I think you were more disappointed.
I thought you could have been third.
Yeah, I think
you weren't going to be the top two, because the top two guys were really classic. Like,
yeah. To the two black dudes
stood out as being more classic than everyone else. Like they weren't as big, they weren't as sharp.
They were smaller. They were actually less conditioned.
But they're just really classic and had really good classic shape, and their classic posing was really good. So then it was a case of like between you, what's his name that came third? Yeah, Craig, and then the guy that came fifth.
I'm not sure who came fifth, but
it was between like those three, and I was thinking like you could be third.
I think it was either Jack Eagles said afterwards, he was like, you're either going to get fourth or first. He was like judging off what they were going for, and he was like, and with how PCA judged, he was like, I thought
you were never going to get first. Like what?
No,
after we'd
watched it. I don't think it would have been. I think it would have been first if, like I said, if you judged it strictly off bodybuilding criteria, and then you turned a blind eye to like three of my flaws. I think you'd go, yeah, okay, fair enough. He's got the best lower body and the most conditioned lower body, in the sense of how things are. Quad sweep, we'll ignore that. And then we'll just go for the most amount of muscle across the top line, and then
Can't-
lower back.
didn't do any
Yeah,
classic posing.
yeah, but and then also posing. Yeah, we'll just scratch that. Yeah, Reese Fit first. Yeah, like again, I probably was first in a fair few areas, but I was also probably fifth or sixth in a few other areas. So that was the PCA universe. That was a wicked day. It was, I think that certified to me. I'm like, right, cool. This is what I need to be doing. I just need to be better at it. So since then, like, I think I have any other things about that weekend that we skipped over?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So that was that. Me and Sanai went out for a Nando's afterwards. She hadn't finished prep, so like Tom, we basically were pretty regimented afterwards. And like I've been pretty like regimented since. It's most likely going to cut out the camera, but we'll carry on until it beeps. I shouldn't probably mention that, but for some reason I have to. So yeah, so we went out for Nando's. That was nice. But the feel afterwards was very odd because like. Last time I finished prep, it was a case where we all went out for food. My mum was with us. It was Sanai had finished. It was a celebration. But for this time, it was like, oh, I'm done. And it felt very strange. Like, it didn't feel like I was done. So, yeah, went out for Nando's. And then the following morning, I went and did cardio. And then literally it was a case where, like, I had 3 days before I was flying out to Spain with Sanaya. And we went to Manchester on Monday, but Sanaya was prepping, so I was like, right, I'm not expecting her to be like, oh, we'll go for lunch. So I just made all my own food. I literally just ran a regular rest day, which was a bit odd. Like the following day, you're like doing cardio, doing steps. But if anything, it helps. That's what I always do. I like my routine. I like my structure. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, literally, I went for a meal with my mum. Went to Pizza Punks in Leicester on Tuesday night, I think. And then my mum was away, so she flew back in. And then literally Wednesday, I was driving up to I think Wednesday or Thursday, I was driving up to Manchester. So it's been, and then I got ill, so I didn't really have time to like properly eat or whatever. I'm not the sort of guy to like after a show go and demolish 10,000 calories as a fly that's just decided to come in. So yeah, if you can see the fly, hopefully it flies out.
Hear the fly.
But yeah, so pretty much it was a case where like afterwards just tried to chill out. Like I said, I'm not the kind of guy to go out and just eat fucking everything in sight. That's not how I am. And then I was like, right, I weighed myself. I gained a little bit of weight, not enough really, all things considered. I was still doing cardio. I trained on Wednesday. And then it was a case where I pretty much had, I flew away to Spain and I could tell on the flight. So I flew away to Spain to watch Sanai compete in Alicante. It was a really, really good weekend. We'll get into that in a short while. And then I got ill, like on the flight. I could tell. I was like, ugh. I got some pre-cooked chicken. I'm not going to say it's that, but I bought some pre-cooked chicken the night before because I knew the where I was at the airport. Like once you're at the airport,
didn't have it in the fridge, did you?
No. Yeah. But the problem is like there was no. It's either that or I just get crap food while I'm at the airport that I don't really want to eat.
Yeah, most airports will have.
No, it really wasn't, mate. Terminal 3 in Manchester. Awful when it comes to food choices.
Not having like an M&S or anything.
It did, but nothing. It just had wraps that had 20 grams of fat.
Yeah, but you could have just got chicken from those.
No, so what I did was I got a chicken wrap. I just emptied the contents and had the chicken.
They didn't have like packet chicken or anything.
No, nothing. If I did, I would have had that. So I literally just had like 2 chicken wraps. But on the after I ate them, after about 15 minutes, I was like, oh. I don't feel the best. But I felt a bit dodgy when I woke up. Like, I did cardio in the mornings, which again, I probably shouldn't. I probably should just chill, but I like doing my usual routine. Yeah. So I felt like after cardio, I had a nosebleed, and I was like, oh, this is a bit odd. And granted, I'm absolutely battered still, but it's part of it. And I was like, I'll be all right. I'll be fine. Just get me to Spain. And I landed. Everything was fine. Flight was fine. It was full of like dads that were like 40 years old on the way to like Benidorm. No, honestly it was just full of like people that were absolutely wankered by like 9 a.m. The flight was at 9:20 and there were people that were legitimately like close to being blackout drunk. I was impressed. So the flight was hilarious, but I felt a bit dizzy, and then it's
not hilarious though, is it? It's just like annoying.
No, and like there was part of the flight where I was like, I'm gonna throw up here. I'm gonna legitimately throw up. I didn't, which was good. And then Thursday, Friday, like I got in and I felt dodgy. Friday, I couldn't really eat much. I felt very, very ill. And then Saturday, Jesus Christ. This was actually Friday. I felt so bad. I slept in till 8 a.m. there. So bearing in mind, like for people that don't know, like I haven't slept at all for longer than like 5 hours for the last month. And I slept for like 9 hours and I like couldn't wake up. Like I literally woke up at 6 and I was like, this is an hour ahead anyway. And I was like, I fell back to sleep. Then I woke up again an hour later, I fell back to sleep. And I woke up again and I was just lying in bed. And I was like, it took me half an hour to get out of bed. And I was like, what? Half an hour. I was just like, right, get up, go to the bathroom. And I was so slow. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? So I woke up and then I thought, I'm going to go for a walk, get myself outside. And all I could think about when I was on the walk was, get me home. I need to go to, get me to the Airbnb. I need to go back to bed. And Sanaya had registration and I said I'd go with her. And I said to her, I can't go. And I slept from 11 till 1. I hadn't ate a thing. And I drank no water. And I woke up in a puddle of my own sweat in this Airbnb on my own. And I'm like, this might be it. This might be it. This is it. I thought I survived. And yeah, that was that. So I basically went a whole day without eating. And then I managed to eat in the evening, which was good. And I woke up the following day. And I think the day of the Sanaya show, I was all-time new low. So I was like, late registration. I was underneath my classic weight cap. So yeah, and I literally I could just about stomach food. And then Sunday, Monday, my digestion, anything I ate, oh God, it was awful. So bad. It just went straight through me. I must have gone to the toilet 25 times. And it was to the point where I was like, what is even coming out of me at this point? So yeah, it's been a bit of a rocky road. I say rocky, it hasn't been rocky, it's been liquidy. It's been very liquidy. So it's basically resulted in me not really being able to gain much weight. I'm a few kilos up from my stage weight. I was 98 kilos. My lowest was 92. So you could say, 5 kilos, but I was only 92 for a very, very brief period of time. No, because I was 92.9 and it was no, I was 98.1 or whatever. But that was for literally one day. And that was when I was at my flattest and most depleted. And my stage weight was 95.5. So I'm 3 kilos up from my stage weight, 2.5 kilos up from my stage weight. But my men's physique stage weight was 101 to 102. So I'm still, at this point, we spoke afterwards and we were get to 100 kilos as fast as you can. And then 100 to 102. And then a slower steady rate of gain, but still the rate of gain's should be pretty quick afterwards to 105 to 110. Yeah. Once you're at about 110, because I was very lean, I started prep at 118, 119, my heaviest 123. I was yeah, cool, that'll be fine. But for some reason, my stomach just doesn't really decide to play ball. So luckily, the last few days, everything's been fine. Stomach wise, last 2 days everything's been fine. My routine will be back to normal from pretty much today. Today was my normal sort of morning routine. Afternoon's been sound. Tomorrow I'm back in the gym. The sessions I did train when I was there, I only did 2 sessions because I'm just listening to my body. I did an upper and lower. Were pretty okay. But I could tell.
A decent gym.
Yeah, it was a good gym. Shout out to the owner. He didn't know who I was at all, which I'm expecting not to. But then, then the second day after I actually tagged him in a story, he must have clicked on my account and went, he actually trains and is a bodybuilder, because he must have been my best mate. He jumped in with me for a few sets, complimented me on my strength, saying not many people are very strong in Spain. I put 4 and a bit plates on a hammer strength incline and he was acting like it's the most impressive thing. And I was like, mate, I've done 6.5 on this before. Yeah, it was a really good gym. And literally, it's one of those, we said this before we started, what happened to me would be wicked if you were an absolute bellend post-show, because it means you can't literally get fat. But then at the same time, for me, it was been a bit of a stress because I'm I desperately need to put on some body fat. But then also, at the same time, body fat will come on eventually. And it's one of those where sleep's been a bit better. Stress has been lesser based off the fact I'm not prepping anymore. So that stress of not thinking, well, I don't really care about how I look. I'm almost in that in-between spot now where I'm not I'm very lean, but I'm pretty flat. But I've not been training, so my appetite's not that high. But within a week or 2, I'll be sound. It's part of it.
When you're not trying to peak for a show, or you're not trying to look like you need to for a show day.
No, so I'm still very, very, very lean. Too lean for. I wouldn't want to be this lean at this point, but I think we probably just got to know moving forward that this is how my body works. I don't respond.
I don't think it. What happened last time? You got ill last time. Did you eat packet chicken then?
No.
That you didn't have in the fridge.
No.
So I don't think it is just how your body works. I think it's probably that could have managed that better.
Yeah, maybe. So
I don't think it's just every time post show you're destined to get ill.
No, but I think it's one of those. My stomach wasn't playing ball even towards the end.
I think that's normal though, because it's
Yeah.
just the introduction of new food. Like even if you don't go and eat loads of random food, like the fact that you will have had different things, like you do end up having digestive issues. I remember I was the same last time. Like I didn't eat like an idiot post show, but I don't think I got ill, but I didn't feel good for like probably a week or two. Like I was still able to eat and everything. I didn't feel bad in any way, but I remember being like, oh, I just feel a bit.
Yeah.
Like you don't like how you look as much. You think you're getting fat.
Yeah.
Plus your digestion's not as good because you're eating different foods. Like I don't think anybody ever feels incredible post show.
No.
Even if you manage it really well, I think say manage it really well, like you're allowed to go and have some food.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that you probably haven't done that for a long time and it's something different, a lot of the time it won't agree with you.
Yeah.
So you feel a bit shit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's one of them where like luckily I do feel a hell of a lot better. I don't feel myself, I still feel very slow. I'm still like I said, sleep's still affected. My mood is a lot better just through less stress, which is good. And like it's one of them, but like and training, like the sessions, like I said, the sessions that I did while I'm there were sound, but they're still nowhere near. Like I could tell, like on the leg press scenario after was just like, Jesus Christ, your knees are all over the place. Like,
Wasn't the best set ever.
No, it wasn't, unfortunately. But my legs, I had no stability. My upper body, like I did a bit of extra volume just to see, like for a baseline level of like low volume. So I did I think I did 3 sets of a bicep curl, 3 sets of a tricep extension. So 3 sets of bi, 3 sets of tri, and I did like I think 5 pressing sets, 5 pulling sets. So it was like not like it was an upper body session, and then by the end of the session, I was like, God, I'm cooked, I'm fried. Yeah, and like I did like even like after the session, I like got in the car and I was like, oh God, I'm absolutely battered. Like that's a lot of work for what
you don't
I
realise it while you're doing it, do you?
No,
like,
but I was just different gym, getting a nice like I said, getting a nice pump.
You don't like.
Yeah, you just
even now like training absolutely batters me now.
Yeah,
but in the sessions is when I feel best, like every day.
Yeah, I felt you in your head you're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I feel good in the session.
And then afterwards you're like, God, I'm fried. But again, it's one of them. Like I look at it and I think there's no rush. Like I got a holiday in 3 and a bit weeks. I'm not going to be in the most productive spot to train and grow for a good period of time until I'm probably 105 to 110 kilos. And I was lean at 105 kilos. So it will literally be a case of like, I've got my baseline level of food, which is not that high, but I'll move it up over the next week or so as my training picks up. It's high, but it's not stupidly high. And I'll move that up. And then like what we said, like the implementation of like off-plan food, or little bonus things here or there, like let's say towards the latter end of the day, if I can get in a little bit of extra calories, I will do. And like up until I'm at to a certain body weight where I'm like, right, cool, now I'm actually feeling a bit better. But you can't rush the process. And I knew how we handled the latter end with the death protocol. This wasn't just going to be this wasn't going to be a simple, oh yeah, you're done with your show. Sound cool. Like when I voice noted you after a few days and we had a chat, you were like, mate, you're gonna feel fucked for a long period of time. Like this isn't just gonna be, oh, I ate a bit of food, like, put on a bit of body fat.
I don't feel good.
Yeah,
like,
and you were
still struggling.
Yeah,
well,
and you were like, yeah, I wouldn't train. Like just give yourself enough time. But it's one of them where like you just gotta listen to your body. I'm fully in the acceptance that I'm probably gonna be still pretty like this time next week. I'm still not gonna feel 100%. 2 weeks from now. Probably still not going to feel 100%. I probably won't feel 100% until, like I said, I'm back at maybe 105, 110 kilos.
Back at like peak performance.
Yeah, peak performance, which is going to take a good, like probably 5, 6, 7 weeks. So it's one of them where like it's a sad reality, but at the same time, when you get very, 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 very lean, you've been lean for a very, very long period of time. You push yourself incredibly hard, both physically and mentally. It's part of the game. But again, I'm feeling better. Still no way near 100%, but it is what it is.
You definitely have got a lot more energy, don't you?
Yeah, I can tell by just how I am. So yeah, all is good. That's me updated. I think that's everything.
So you're going on holiday in 3 weeks?
Yes.
Where are you going?
Lanzarote. Going for a cheap holiday to Lanzarote because me and Sanaya are yeah, we actually are. Prep's been expensive. Yeah. No, we went to Egypt. So we went to Egypt last year and it was like a cheap 5-star place that was just sound for us. And then we went to Turkey that was an expensive, like stupidly expensive posh place. And we both decided, and then we went to Canada. Holidays where it's a resort, we just want something that's got the sun, It's nothing special.
Yeah.
It's
I
got
think you want like a middle ground.
Yeah,
Like when
like
we went to Morocco, it was really nice and it was posh, but it wasn't like stupid.
Yeah, flash.
Although there were little bits that I was like, it's a bit much.
Yeah.
Like it was massive and it took ages to walk around.
Yeah.
And like some of the food was a bit like over the top.
Yeah.
But
So we literally were like, right, where's a place where there's going to be towns nearby that I can head off to a gym, or we can hire a car. There's going to be stuff to do, but it's not going to be. It's not an apps. It's not Benidorm, because Jesus Christ, I probably should actually speak about the weekend in Spain. Don't ever go to Benidorm.
I've got stories that I shouldn't ever tell about Benidorm.
Really? You've been to Benidorm?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, it's a fucking shit.
We went when we were like
it's so
17 or something.
It's so bad.
That's where my mate's villa is, in
Really?
Alicante.
Yeah.
So
Alicante's lovely.
Yeah, Alicante's nice, but Benidorm is grim.
Yeah.
I've been twice.
It was awful. It was so bad. I was stunned with how bad it is. Yeah, I was stunned with how bad the place was. It was fucking awful. Like it was just the worst place in the world.
It is vile.
Yeah. So Benidorm, don't go to Benidorm. Alicante though, really nice. I actually really liked Alicante.
I saw there was a sign to Terra Mythica.
No.
You know what that is?
No.
It's the theme park, the one that I talk about when the horrendous theme park that I went to with my mates, and I was like, went on the big one, and then I got off and I was like, oh, and I felt horrendous.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I saw it on that photo.
I actually when I remember, you know the weird thing is when I read the sign, I read Terra Mythica and it popped up in my head and I was like,
I feel like I've heard about it.
Yeah, I knew it and I was like, why do I know that?
Yeah, it's massive theme park.
Fair enough.
You should have gone.
Yeah,
because you guys like it, don't you?
We actually were going to go. So yeah, we were going to go to a water park.
Shitting yourself.
We were going to go to no, my digestion was okay actually.
Yeah, there's a water park there.
We were going to go to
really
a water park, but Sanaya's digestion wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And
the last place you want to be is a water park.
Yeah, exactly. That would not be. You having an in-betweeners like yeah, in-betweeners movie or whatever. You'd be having one of them. So to be fair, I didn't actually really speak too much about what we did. Sanaya competed at the Amateur Olympia. She looked awesome.
Can chat about that.
Yeah. She looked awesome. Make
sure you listen to Sanaya's episode.
Yeah, make sure you listen to Sanaya's episode. That I think is us caught up. There's probably a lot more that we could talk about, but
should we have a quick chat about future plans? So obviously, your plans now, off season, bodybuilding, training split.
Sure. Do you want to do that no, we do it now. Yeah, we do it now.
Do it now.
Right, guys.
Catching up, aren't we?
Yeah. So, plans of action moving forward. Well, the men's physique era is done, as we most likely knew. It's pretty much going to be open bodybuilding, I'd imagine. Like classic, there's a chance. There is a chance. It's more so weight cap relative to NPC. I was just under the weight cap for the previous shows. It's just under. If I gained a 0.5 of a centimetre, which could be doable, I'd be under.
Yeah,
I am under. But with my actual legitimate height, I wouldn't be under the weight cap. I'd need to pull off another 2.5 kilos.
What's your weight cap?
93 or 95, 96.
So yeah, you'd easily get into that. Just stretch you out a bit.
90. Yeah, I'd be able to get a 0.5 of a centimetre. So I'd be able to gain 0.5 of a centimetre. However, to make the improvements to my physique relative to classic, and also I just don't really think the classic posing and stuff like that, I don't think I'd be suited long term to classic, especially considering the fact of the reason why I'm moving out of men's physique is because I'd outgrow it and I'd outgrow classic. So, and also I think I'd be very competitive as an open bodybuilder with another 18 months to 2 years of an off season. And I think my shape and my structure will carry me. I wouldn't need to be an absolute meathead. I wouldn't grow that way. And eventually, like I said, I'd outgrow classic, but at the same time, classic could potentially be an option early next year if I was to make big improvements and make big strides and think, you know what, maybe I could go into a classic prep and do maybe start prep towards the latter end of this year or start one towards the start of next year if I can bring up the areas that are needed. But I also think as well, I don't think it will be that beneficial. I think I need, when I look at my physique objectively next to other people, it's quite clear I'm very young in this game. I need time. I need tissue in the areas that are quite specific. It's not just a case of I need more muscle everywhere, which I do, but I need more dense and quality muscle.
If your physique matched up to your hamstrings and adductors from the rear shots, you'd be very, very, very good. Yeah. But you need a lot more through your lower back, your abs.
My physique, unfortunately, is just
your
very
lower back
much...
and your abs look like they're on a different person.
Yeah, I agree. and
It's
like
weird, isn't
and
it?
my outer quad just doesn't really.
Yeah, you could argue your quads like
Yeah.
from the front. In some poses, part of that is posing. A lot of that's keeping them switched on
Yeah.
because your quads aren't bad from the front.
No. I just almost need like my physique. I don't like
You need
for
a new
classic.
trunk.
I just need like to be like able to pick a few areas because I'm almost like built very very well in certain areas, but then very poorly in others. So I just need time, and therefore I think it will be a case of just committing to a lengthy off season, which is a bit scary because obviously I've been lean for a very long period of time. So to be like, yeah, time to get massive really, but at the same time this is the joy. Like, I'm young, I haven't really pushed the boundaries in any aspect, whether that's food, whether that's peds. I've got a lot of time on my side, and basically I'm just gonna take a fuck ton of drugs, eat loads, and just get fucking massive.
Push back up.
No, and just get
I
literally.
can't wait
Yeah.
to get big again.
Yeah, really. You just
Stupid.
feeling skinny, and just like.
Stupid, isn't it? Like,
What do you mean?
when you're in off season, all you want
Yeah.
to do is get lean, and now like I look at myself and I'm like, can't wait to get big and strong again.
Yeah, it's one of them. So basically it's going to be a case of seeing how the next, like, the main goal out of the show, like, I don't want to set bodyweight goals. I haven't really even thought long term. It's more so just get my training back into a really good spot. Like, I look back at videos of myself before a hack squat or before a leg press or before a deadlift, and I'm like, fuck, then you get
I'm
myself
just doing
switched
that,
on.
Yeah.
And I haven't done that this year. Like, literally this year, I haven't done that for the last 5 months. The last 6 months of my life, I've not been like myself. Me is heavy, strong, slightly fat, but not too fat enough to like not like how I was before prep, where it was like I was in a good spot, still like not fat, not shredded, but like still in a good sort of spot composition wise, training really well. And like when I watch back of previous videos of myself, I'm like, that's not even me. I don't even feel like myself. Like, I said this on a walk earlier, and I look back at certain photos and videos of like when like I was in Canada and when I was in Norfolk and stuff, and like before like Christmas time, and I don't even recognize, like, that's not who I, like, that's me, and I'm like a shadow of who I actually am. And it's quite sad when you think about it, because you think completely different in a prep. You act very different in the sense of training. So the main goal short term is get training into a good spot. That needs to, where body fat needs to come on to get that to occur. Then it'll be a case of going away, going on holiday, like that'll kind of coincide. At that point, I'll be 6 weeks post show. I'll get some bloods done around that point, and that will kind of dictate where things are. I'm in absolutely zero need to rush, because I know my body will not be primed after 6 weeks to be like, let's now start ramping up the drugs. No, it will not be the case. It will be a case of most likely probably 8 to 12 weeks of a cruise phase. In that period of time, body weight will trickle up. If I can get to, like I said, maybe 110-ish kilos, then that will set me up nicely for a push, and that will probably then look to take me to 120, 125, 130. I think 300 pounds is 134, so maybe. but at the end of the day,
like what, 6 months post show,
130 kg, no chance. It wouldn't be that. No, I reckon it'll be probably 2 pushes to 130-ish kilos, I'd imagine. But again, it's one of them. I want to see a new body weight. My previous best is 123. I'd like to see 130, but if I was to say anything, but there's no direct goal of let me just get straight to that. No chance. But at the same time, we'll just see how things are training-wise, and we'll see how things go. So, and we'll know more clarity as my body weight continues to rise. At the end of the day, immediately after the show, yeah, you want to get massive, you want to eat everything in sight, but the training stimulus isn't even there yet. So I'm chilling. At the end of the day, time will heal, and I do feel better. So small improvements at this point.
glad you survived, mate.
Yeah, and I survived. So, yeah.
Well done.
Thanks, mate. So, yeah, that's my immediate post-show plans wrapped up. Most likely go to open, potentially do a classic prep if I reckon I could make the improvements in a short period of time, but I don't really think long term that's going to be attainable, especially with how things are. So it'll probably be a good 18 months minimum to 2 years until I'm probably next on stage, which is scary because I think I'd like to do another prep sooner rather than later, because I actually thoroughly enjoyed this one bar the last 3 weeks. But at the same time, it might be a case where I get to this time next year, and I'm like, I look really fucking good. I think I could be very competitive. Let's dip my feet and dip my toes in again. But at the same time, I do need to make improvements. Yeah, I do.
That's where
It's what I've been saying
10
recently.
times a podcast.
Yeah, it's what I've been saying recently, because that's how things have been, man. It's how things have been.
You say it all the time, though.
Yeah, I probably need to widen up my vocabulary.
Wind it in.
So yeah, that's that. That's it. Is that it?
You don't want me to do my plans what I mean, mate.
I thought
Selfless.
I
Talk
thought
about you all the time.
But you said okay. Finn's doing a men's physique show.
Yeah, but you can't tell people when. It's a secret.
X weeks out.
I'm literally.
Finn's
I'm not.
X weeks out.
I'm not bothered about like anybody coming or anything. Like, I've had people like it's really nice. Like clients obviously asking about shows and stuff, and obviously I'm gonna let them know like the main shows.
Yeah.
But like the men's physique shows, it's literally just to see how I look and have a bit of fun in different federations. Like, so yeah, I'm X amount of weeks out from a men's physique show. 11 and a half weeks out from the first main show, which is the BMBF Northern.
And Finn's absolutely battered.
Feels like forever.
Finn's ruined. Finn's battered. He said to me today, he was like, actually, I'm struggling a little bit.
I'm sound, but I'm prepping now. I can tell I'm prepping now. Yeah. 11 and a half weeks out from the BMBF Northern, and then the UK FBA is like 2 weeks after that, and then the BMBF finals another week. Basically, like how I'm like planning it out is that I'm 11 and a half to 19 and a half weeks out. So like that's the first main show and the last main show, and then obviously a couple of warm ups in between. I'm looking forward to the warm ups because like those kind of weeks, I'm not going to peak for them, but they're going to be weeks where it's a bit more exciting, and I'll have a little bit more food and I'll be off my feet a little bit more before like competing. So those kind of weeks, as much as they still need to be fat loss weeks, like they'll be almost like more fun, more exciting fat loss weeks.
Yeah.
Doing shows and stuff.
And they always fly by.
Yeah,
like,
and then we've got client shows coming up soon.
Yeah.
I've got like plenty of stuff planned, so it's like I'm busy enough. I just need to make sure that I'm not falling behind. Like I'm nowhere near behind at the minute, but in terms of how my plan is, like for me to get disgustingly peeled, like I'm on track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just need to stay on the front foot. But I do feel a little bit draggy. Well, I am draggy.
Yeah, you're lean. So yeah. The amount of times like you'll do something and you'll go like just moving around, and you'll go, Jesus Christ.
But that's
like,
only started like in this past week and maybe a bit. Probably literally from when we got back from Exeter.
Yeah.
But again, like, I think a lot of that was down to that weekend being busy.
Yeah.
But like evenings now, like, I just want to switch off.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty much falling asleep on the sofa every night as soon as I finish my last meal. Like I just fall asleep and I'm like, I need
that's
to
strange. I never. That's one thing I never had throughout the prep. That being said, I never really ever get tired. My body and mind get tired, but I never get physically like I need to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't fall asleep. I just
like
mentally I'm just slow.
my eyes will close and I'm just asleep. So,
Fair enough.
yeah. But otherwise I'm sound.
So yeah, that's Finn's update. I'm guessing. That's everything. That's everything from me. That's pretty much the we're back, and hopefully it should be a case where now I'll be getting fatter, Finn will be getting skinnier. I'll be the one having to carry the podcast because Finn's probably carried the podcast.
Reece needs to learn how to set it all up.
Yes, that's what apparently
It's
I need to do.
very annoying that I do it all.
Even though it's Finn's laptop that we set it up upon, so I wouldn't be able to
Doesn't
learn
matter.
on Finn's laptop.
No, it's the camera, the lights, everything.
Okay. Well, anyway, that'll be that. Thanks as always for listening, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the catch up, and yeah, we're back to it. Catch you guys next week.
Peace.
See you later.